put forward there. So, yeah. No, it was a positive, though, really.
Maybe the initial fourth down, you went forward inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was the right thing to do, especially when you're playing a team that scores a lot of points. But I just thought it was the right way to go. Those are all subjective decisions. And then I know if you talk to the stats guy, they're going to tell you to go for about every fourth down. And Frazier does a good job of keeping it within reason. So, but listen, it was the right time to do that.
Yes, the way the offense was on last week, and then the way they started out the game, does that make that decision?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it helps when we're doing okay. Yeah, that sure does. Yeah.
And you mentioned the game planning, offensively and defensively, but to what do you attribute kind of the surge the last 3 weeks or so, and how the offense has been?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've said this, but getting one back was a big thing. Xavier brings a lot of energy, and he can do a lot of things for you. And then he has an attitude there that he brings, and getting Reid back in the building, I also think was a big part. I think they felt that they were whole again, at least by body there. So that was positive, having him back in the building.
And you also feel like Hollywood's kind of hitting stride and what you might have thought.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He had a nice day, 4 for 45, a couple TDs. He's a good football player. He loves to play. Tried to give him the ball in many ways. We had the jet sweep to him, which was good, and down in there in the red zone. So that was a helper.
Their first drive was 15 plays, and they got down there and looked like they scored a touchdown. Were you aware of the teal hat?
Yeah, actually, the official told me right away what went on. So yeah, but it was weird. So you don't see that very often. It was a different kind of play too. So they're very creative in what they do, and that one he didn't get set, so that was a problem.
It was a little weird and maybe ugly at the end of the game. What was your view of what happened out there afterwards?
Yeah, well, you guys saw it. I mean, it was, the guy came up and hit Juju for what looked like no reason. I mean, we're taking a knee, so that's tough. I mean, put pretty good damage on Juju's nose.
Andy, you scored touchdowns there right before halftime and right after halftime. How big was that game?
Yeah, well, they deferred, so they gave us an opportunity to get the ball the second half. We were able to come out and score there, which I thought that was big. Anytime you come out that second half and move the ball a little bit, I think it helps everybody. And then the first half, it was a good drive. I can't say enough about the Nagy's, the Blameyers, these guys that put that plan together, man. Connor and the whole group just had some good stuff. Todd Pinkston, De Leon, we've added into the mix here, and he gives us a nice perspective from the defensive side. And he's kind of gotten into the offensive part of it too, so that helps just with putting the game plan together. But I thought it was a thick game plan.
Eddie, you mentioned Travis earlier, but can you elaborate a little bit on what you see about why he's so effective tonight, particularly?
I think he came back in great shape. I think he's been playing well all along. He particularly these last 3 weeks. So he came back in good shape though. And at his age, that's important. That's a big thing.
That's what I'm saying.
And you mentioned the offensive line, but not just protect on each individual play, but just the impact of what they've done maybe the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you had asked me that before, and I agree with that they've gotten better as we've gone on. The young guys, or in this case, Jalen jumping in and doing his thing. So it's a good group, and they're physical. I think if you could take something away from this game, when they bear down, they can bear down. So that ends up being important.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, good.
With his fiancée watching from the stands and the Kansas City Chiefs desperately needing a victory to climb back to 500, Travis Kelce delivered his second consecutive strong performance in Week 6. The veteran tight end who has shown his age more frequently during the 2024 and 2025 seasons, achieved a new season high in receiving yards during a Sunday night football clash against the Detroit Lions. Even more crucial for the Chiefs was how Kelce made several catches that directly set up scoring opportunities against one of the NFC's top defensive units. For a Kansas City squad sitting at 2-3 and languishing in third place within the AFC West, this prime-time victory was poised to significantly boost their early playoff prospects. Watching Kelce's dependable connection with Mahomes become a recurring theme throughout Week 6 of Sunday Night Football proved exciting for fans. This game represented only the second occasion in 6 contests this season where Kelce led Kansas City in receiving, something that would have seemed unremarkable a year or two earlier. However, given his declining production numbers, this achievement carried significant weight. With Rashee Rice scheduled to rejoin the Chiefs the following week, Kelce maintained his status as Mahomes' favorite target, topping the team in both targets with 7 and receptions with 6. Xavier Worthy also drew 4 targets for 20 yards and a touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster contributed 57 yards, while Hollywood Brown found the end zone twice. As an additional milestone for him, Kelce surpassed Jason Witten on the all-time list of receiving yards in prime-time NFL games. If you're enjoying these insights into game-changing performances, make sure to subscribe so you never miss another breakdown of the biggest moments in football. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, Missouri, the Detroit Lions had both their starting safeties available in the lineup for the showdown with the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday, October 12. Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch were active for the Lions despite missing practice time with injuries throughout the week. Joseph skipped all practices due to a knee injury that had bothered him since the Lions' Week 4 victory over the Cleveland Browns. Branch was limited Wednesday and Thursday before sitting out Friday practice because of a foot injury. Joseph played through his injury the previous week, while Lions coach Dan Campbell expressed confidence that Branch would play after the third-year safety underwent an MRI on his foot Thursday. The Lions were down both starting cornerbacks, with DJ Reid on injured reserve due to a hamstring issue and Terrion Arnold inactive with a shoulder problem. Backup safety and slot cornerback Amani Oruwari was also inactive with a hamstring injury suffered during the week. Amick Robertson and rookie Sin were expected to start at cornerback. Left tackle Taylor Decker, linebacker Zach Cunningham, running back Sione Vaki, safety Lauren Strickland, and defensive lineman Mazi Smith also were inactive for the 4-1 Lions. Detroit Lions running back David Montgomery should easily surpass the 10.5 carries prop for Sunday night. In 4 out of 5 games, he exceeded expectations and was coming off his highest carry total of the season with 18 in Week 5. He also faced a favorable matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs, who maintained a below-average rush defense in 2025. They currently ranked 12th in most rushing yards allowed per game. Xavier Worthy's over-reception prop presented a strong play on Sunday night. Since returning to the Chiefs lineup, quarterback Patrick Mahomes made it a priority to get him involved. In the 2 games since coming back, he tallied 17 targets and covered his reception total in Week 5 with 6 catches. This Chiefs team desperately needed explosive plays, and Worthy ranked among their main weapons in the passing game who could deliver them. Before we dive into the final predictions, hit that subscribe button to stay updated on all the best betting insights and player analysis. He could make plays happen on a go route or on a short slant. Facing a Lions team that allowed the 12th fewest passing yards per game meant Mahomes would likely target him frequently to create impact. The receiving prop felt inflated for Detroit Lions tight end Sam Laporta after he recorded his highest receiving total of the season in Week 5 against the Cincinnati Bengals, posting 92 receiving yards on 5 catches. While definitely impressive, he would face a much improved passing defense when playing the Chiefs. The Bengals allowed the most fantasy points to the tight end position this season, while the Chiefs allowed the 3rd fewest. Over the last 4 weeks, Kansas City prevented any opposing tight end from exceeding Laporta's 4.5 receiving yard prop total. Travis Kelce was coming off a solid receiving performance, recording 61 yards in Week 5 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He should struggle more generating yards against the Detroit Lions defense, making his under 4.5 receiving yards prop attractive for Sunday night. Only once this season had an opposing tight end recorded over 4 to 5.5 yards against the Lions when Mark Andrews achieved 91 yards.